Now, I thought we left this devil worshiping stuff in 2019, but apparently not. I want to talk a little bit about Lucifer, also recognized as Lil Uzi Vert, who's been the man of the hour for the past week. If you don't know what I'm referring to, Lil Uzi Vert, Lucifer, very recently performed at Rolling Loud, and his performance made some headlines, not really for the performance itself, but for some of the devilish antics he decided to partake in. If you know anything about Uzi, he's not really a stranger to this kind of stuff. There's a rapper in the game right now who I heavily associate with the devil, it's Uzi, and it's not out of coincidence. I mean, Uzi is the same guy who said that we're all going to hell with him a few years back. Do you remember that clip? Right before he was about to perform his hit record XO Tour Life during a performance in 2018, Uzi said this.
Let me explain something to them real quick. Before everybody starts screaming and saying, oh, like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers enter the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me. So, let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a million times and you didn't even know. That's
all these years later, I'm still here. I haven't gone to hell. Not planning to anytime soon. If you're listening to this, obviously you're with me, which means you haven't gone to hell. So whatever Uzi said, it wasn't real, we're all good. But that clip I just played you went viral back then. A lot of people had something to say about it. On the outside looking in, it does seem like a very random thing to say coming from an artist. However, that's only if you're not familiar with the devilish antics Uzi has consistently been pulling throughout these last couple years. Everything from that clip to the XO Tour Life music video, which was extremely demonic. I mean, this video gives me chills. Literally, I mean, my stomach hurt from seeing this video. I really don't like it. Too many strange things going on in it. The lyrics, you know, she said, baby, I'm not afraid to die. Uzi's laying down in a bathtub and it appears as he's about to delete himself. This weird and creepy mannequin shows up with blood all over its face. I'll just stop there, man, because god damn it. The whole video got a bunch of strange energy all over it. And as you can tell, I'm not into that devil worshiping shit. Now, granted, I am a self-proclaimed sinner. I just beat my meat 30 seconds ago. Me beating my meat aside, because that's obviously TMI. On the real though, I did beat my. I digress. Even I felt the negative energy oozing out of Uzi when he's on that devilish type of time. I also think it's a little strange how Lil Uzi Vert sounds like Lucifer when you say it fast. Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Uzi Vert, Lucifer, Lucifer, Lucifer. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but let's just say that I personally do not believe in coincidences in this life, and I'll just leave it there. The other day, the boy Uzi was performing at Rolling Loud, and he previewed a new record, which is supposed to be on his forthcoming project. On a song he previewed, he dropped a pretty interesting line, which had a lot of people talking. I make a city girl believe in Satan, Uzi said. City Girls, for anyone who doesn't know, is a rap duo. Young Miami and JT are the two members. The latter, Uzi was or is dating, I'm not too sure, but that's a reference to that. So people have been making a lot of noise about this line, and initially I was thinking, hey, he dropped this line because it's connected to his ex-girlfriend, who's a self-proclaimed city girl. However, I do think he's using this line somewhat loosely because there are a lot of women out there calling themselves city girls on social media. And that's the scary thing about music, right? Because here's the thing, Uzi could have definitely written this particular line about his ex-girlfriend or really anything, but since it's music we're talking about, there's a lot of people who are gonna be repeating that mantra, you know, I make a city girl believe in Satan. How about we do this? Take out the city part for a second and it quickly becomes I make a girl believe in Satan. So now we've gone from this line potentially being about his ex-girlfriend to it applies to any woman who bumps this particular record. I don't know about you, but I just wouldn't really want my daughter repeating this line is what I'm trying to say. I'll just leave it at that. On a real though, let's actually get real for a second. Music is being used as a tool for hypnosis out here. I hope everyone who's listening to this realizes that. You got to read in between the lines of the music you listen to. What exactly is that storytelling? That's where storytelling comes in. I don't want to make this too much about Uzi's music because he's obviously not a storyteller. Uzi's just vibes. Even with that being the case, especially as it relates to this story, here's an artist who's been on that devil worshiping tip for years on end. At some point, you got to question it. Why are you feeding into this? Is it really just a publicity stunt or is there something else? I believe it's a mix of both. Speaking of that, aside from this line, Uzi was also wearing a pretty interesting symbol around his belt. If we take a closer look, as you can see, it looks like a star, but really, it's the Baphomet symbol. Baphomet, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's a deity, a false god, which has been closely intertwined with Satanism for hundreds of years. People for hundreds of years have actually called this symbol right here the symbol of Satan. How interesting. The deity has a human body, angel. Time to eat. There goes my timer. Gotta eat, nigga. 1 second. My apologies for the inconvenience, my belly is full now. Continuing from where we left off, the deity has a human body, angel wings, and the head of a goat with a star in the middle of its forehead. That's a symbol Lil Uzi Vert was wearing around his belt as he was rapping about Satan. Also, do you remember this initial cover design for Eternal Take? This created a lot of controversy back in 2018. Back in 2018, Uzi shared what was supposed to be an album cover for his long-awaited Eternal Take album. The cover heavily resembled the Heaven Gates logo. Heaven Gates, for anyone who doesn't know, is a cult that was founded in 1974 by a Marshall Applewhite. Don't want to go too deep into this movement, but let's just say that on March 26, 1997, 39 members from this cult, including the leader, were found dead inside a house located in San Diego. The 39 group members participated in a mass suicide. Why and how they did it, not trying to go there because it's 8 a.m. as I'm recording this. My day is just getting started, so I ain't trying to do that shit right now. Obviously on Uzi's end, looks like it was yet another publicity stunt. Don't really know what Uzi was thinking doing that shit, because when you start to think about it, using a cult that partook in a mass deletion, if you will, just to promote your album sounds like something the
devil would do. And Lil Uzi Vert does sound like Lucifer, so shit, I don't know, maybe Uzi is the damn devil.
By the way, whoever's the head of Uzi's marketing department, they deserve a big ass raise because this had everybody talking when it happened, including yours truly. Also, remember this video from 2017, right before Love is Rage 2 came out, of Uzi saying how he sold his soul for his fans.
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. Now figure that out. Tell me, did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. For all you motherfuckers that's on here that's asking me did I sell my soul, why the fuck is y'all on here if y'all think I sold my soul? Y'all coming right with me, you dummies.
I have a question I gotta ask. Can we please leave this devil worshipping stuff in the past where it belongs? I'm saying that knowing damn well this won't be the end of it. The music industry is too closely intertwined with Satanism and the devil for that to ever happen. There's for sure a lot of money to be made from these stunts, and that's really what it is 95% of the time. Don't get it twisted. All this could be summed up in one sentence. Money. Any publicity is good publicity. For a guy like Uzi, he's already gone down this path so many times, and every single time it has in fact brought him a lot of attention. So really, what incentive does he have to stop? None. More publicity means more attention, which means more records sold, more people coming to his shows, more people streaming his music, and so forth. I'm sure Uzi doesn't care too much about wearing that Baphomet symbol around his waist long as he's selling records. And another thing I'm sure of is I don't really even think Uzi knows what he's really doing. I think this is the kind of thing that was brought to him, and he's of course going to say yes, knowing that it's going to create controversy, so why not? And I'm not even going to judge Uzi for that, because hey, maybe all he cares about is just that, publicity. Would I be honest if I was an artist? Absolutely not. I think for anyone who is an artist or is trying to become one, you gotta know what you're willing to do and not do before you even make your first dollar off music. Because best believe that you will get offered money, a lot of money as a matter of fact, in return for what I actually define as selling your soul. And this is what selling your soul looks like. It's not an unattainable concept. It just comes down to one thing. Are you actively doing things that don't align with your values just for a low check? Because if you are, no matter what your reasoning for saying yes to that is, you've officially sold your soul. And usually what tends to happen is once you say yes to one thing, you're gonna say yes to another thing. This is how a lot of artists get tested by the industry and they don't even know it. In this Uzi case, there's obviously something for him to gain. One doesn't partake in promoting devilish antics if there's nothing to gain on the other side. And by the way, promoting all this demonic shit is not the only way one could sell one's soul. There's a way worse scenario which tends to happen 95% of the time right now, especially with new rappers in the game. A very common thing we see with especially new rappers these days is the promotion of harmful substances like pills and lean. There's of course a difference between telling your story, if you're struggling with addiction, kind of like the late Mac Miller, or the late Juice WRLD, or the late Lil Peep, rest their souls, they all struggle with severe addiction. And it's another thing to mindlessly promote it knowing what kind of damage it's causing to the youth with no kind of purpose behind it. So that's another way of selling your soul. And the industry is always recruiting people who are willing to push the promotion of these things for the mere fact that it sells records. This is a part of the lowest common denominator of topics, which is why it appeals to such a wide demographic of people. Aside from that, as for this topic regarding Uzi, I think at this point, all this devil worshiping stuff is a part of his gimmick. No point in stopping if the strategy is working, right? Like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, there's always a price to these things though, and whether or not Uzi has paid that price, I'm not sure. Anyway, any thoughts on what we just spoke about? The devil does work hard, but I think Uzi might be working a tad bit harder. Publicity seems to be the motivation behind this, but what do you personally think? Any thoughts on it? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. Have a good day, and before you leave, you better like this video. Like it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good day now, or night. I'm out. Peace.